This is Zachary and William Zulak from Georgia, and they've been arrested and indicted for sexually abusing and producing homemade child pornography with their adopted sons. And they are two of the most disgusting human beings I've ever laid eyes on. And because I talk so much about this LGBTQ nonsense, I have to talk about this disgusting story. Again, those two in that photo are Zachary and William Zulak, a married LGBTQ activist couple from Oxford, Georgia. They were arrested on July 27th after the police raided their home and found video evidence that they were engaging in sexually abusive acts with their adopted children. They're now facing a grand jury indictment under charges of felony sexual exploitation of children, aggravated child molestation, felony prostitution of a minor, aggravated sodomy, and incest. And these charges carry a possible 9 life sentences. There aren't enough life sentences for these two as far as I'm concerned. Supposedly they're these big LGBTQ activists. You know, we see them everywhere. They're always talking about how wonderful they are, how great their movement is. And let me make one thing clear. I am not for 1 second saying that this movement is about child exploitation or child endangerment or even child rape or child pornography. I'm not saying that. I'm not a fan of it. I talk about it a lot, especially all these dudes who are obviously dudes and they think they're women. But that is off the table tonight because these two are the most disgusting human beings I've ever laid eyes on. They adopted their children in 2018 from an agency called Christian Adoption Agency, focusing on special needs children in Watkinsville, Georgia. That organization has since been shut down. I don't believe it's because of this incident. But the actual name of this agency was called All God's Children Incorporated. Again, they helped special needs children find forever homes. And I have no problem whatsoever with a gay couple or a lesbian couple adopting children. All children deserve a home. And those little boys thought they found their home when Zachary and William adopted them. They had no idea what was in store for them with the torture they were going to have to endure from these two scumbags. I want to know what kind of vetting process was done for couples wanting to adopt special needs children. I want to know why these two were allowed to. Apparently they lived in some upscale neighborhood. One of them is supposedly a government worker, the other one a banker. I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time they've engaged in these heinous acts against children, because they didn't just adopt kids and say, now we got them, they're all ours, and nobody can take them away. They've done this before. So there's probably children out there suffering from torture that they endured at the hands of the Zulaks. William Zulak allegedly admitted to forcing the couple's 11-year-old adopted son to perform an act of sodomy to satisfy his sexual desire. That child, I'm not a religious person, but I pray to God that that child is going to be okay someday. Not only being a special needs child, but having to live with the fact that the people they thought were rescuing them and giving them a home were the ones who were going to ruin their lives forever. It's something they're never going to forget. This is one of the most disgusting things, and I've talked about crimes. I see crime on a daily basis, everything ranging from shoplifting to murder to rape. And yes, I've seen thousands of child molesters in my 20-year law enforcement career. I've never seen a married gay couple abuse their own children. Any crime against a child is heinous and should be punishable by the longest prison sentence possible. But these two, there's a special place in hell for the Zulaks for what they did to these children. And not only did they videotape, produce, and distribute child pornography with their adopted kids, it's alleged that they have prostituted these young boys also to other pedophiles, wherever that may be. They could be their neighbors. They could be in another state. Who knows? But it's alleged that they were using these boys to make money, selling them, if you will, as prostitutes to other disgusting human beings. This turns my stomach to even talk about this, but I just don't understand how anyone, gay or straight, how do you even look at yourself in the mirror knowing what you're doing to these innocent children? Yeah, I know you're a scumbag. They're absolute scumbags. But how? What made you think that it was okay to destroy these children's lives and think you were going to get away with it? They posted Snapchats, apparently, and William would say, "I'm going to have sex with my son tonight, so stay tuned for the video that'll be coming your way." It's alleged that he said that. It's included in the indictment. These men are nothing but the lowest form of human being that I've ever seen in my life. I just don't know. I don't understand how they could even live with themselves. If I were them, I try to off myself because that's what they deserve. It also states that there were other men charged with soliciting to perform acts of prostitution on one of their children. Hunter Clay Lawless, 27, and Luis Armando Vizcarro Sanchez, 25, were part of this alleged prostitution ring that the Zulaks had their little boys involved in. I don't know what else to say other than life sentences are not good enough for these two. The death penalty should be imposed if that was at all possible, because that's what they deserve. They don't deserve to live and rot in prison, because in prison, pedophiles, child molesters are all kept together. They're kept in protective custody from general populations. And what do? All they do is share war stories and have fun, because they know that they're not going to get killed by another inmate in another area of the prison who's in there for a different crime but has children at home. I don't care if you're a murderer, a bank robber, a car thief, whatever. Those are bad crimes in itself, obviously. But a lot of them have children, and the prisons have to protect people like the Zulaks, because they will not survive, and they shouldn't survive as far as I'm concerned. And I'm sure that there is no death sentence on the table for this crime. I don't know the Georgia laws. I don't pretend that I do. What I do know is they need to be convicted of every single count, and they need to be given, it says they could face 9 life sentences. They deserve all 9 life sentences, because those children are going to be living a life sentence on their own, trying to forget the torture and pain that they had to endure from the people that they thought they were going to be with as a family forever. And that breaks my heart. And I just don't understand what people think. And I really want to know, I want a question answered. Where are all the LGBTQ activists, the big movement? They want to shove it down our throat. They want us to embrace it. They want us to celebrate it. I haven't seen one LGBTQ group come out and condemn Zachary and William Zulak for what they did. I haven't seen it. I would love to see it, because I'll say it again, I'm not saying that that's what that movement is about. These two did it. And their organization, if you will, their movement, should be out in force, condemning the disgusting crimes and the disgusting torture that they put those little boys through. So I'm going to wait and see if I see it. Chances are I won't, because this is making their movement look bad. I've said this a million times, and I'll say it one more time. I don't give a shit what people do. If you think you're a null agenda, knock yourself out. But again, these two, the Zulaks, there's a special place in hell for them. And their activist friends, if you will, their movement, they need to come out and condemn these scumbags. Because there's so many words I could call them after reading this. And the more I speak, I just don't get it. And I feel for those two boys. And quite frankly, the organization, the Christian organization they adopted them from, I think they should be investigated, even though it's shut down now. Or whoever was running that organization needs to be investigated. And the authorities need to find out exactly how these two disgusting pedophiles were able to adopt two young boys. It's just wrong in so many ways. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And that's it. And that's my opinion on the Zulaks. And just pray that they spend the rest of their days locked up where they belong. If you haven't liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell. You'll never miss an episode. Share this video with someone, because this is going on all over the world. But child exploitation needs to stop. And it's not just a movement, it's everywhere. And it's, again, some of the most heinous acts that anyone could ever be involved in, and it needs to be stopped. Have a great night. I'll see you.